10 Psychological Weapons of the Self-Aware Mind. Carl. Jung's code for inner power intro. He didn't rise with the crowd. He didn't speak to be seen. He wasn't loud, but somehow his silence said everything. This was not arrogance. This was self-possession. He had something most people don't even realize they lost. A mind that couldn't be manipulated. A spirit that couldn't be hijacked. A soul that refused to perform. What you were witnessing wasn't luck, confidence, or charm. It was the psychological armor of a self-aware mind. A mind sharpened by pain, refined by solitude, and disciplined by self-observation. This is not about charm. This is not about success. This is about psychological sovereignty and the 10 invisible weapons that make it possible. Each one is a defense against manipulation, barrier against dependency, a shield against spiritual erosion. If you want your mind back, if you want your peace back, this is where it begins. Weaponized silence. The first weapon is silence. Most people panic in silence. They rush to explain, to justify, to defend. But the self-aware mind doesn't play that game. It knows that silence is not weakness. It's control. Because silence exposes people, forces them to reveal their insecurity, their assumptions, their real intentions. When you master silence, you don't just disarm chaos. You reveal the truth that noise tries to hide. Silence is where manipulation dies. 2. Psychological distance. The second weapon is psychological distance. Self-aware individuals don't get lost in emotional storms. They observe their thoughts like clouds passing in the sky. They watch the world without needing to react to it. They ask, is this emotion mine? Or did someone plant it in me? Am I angry? Or am I being provoked? This distance gives you vision. And when you can see clearly, no one can control you. You stop being a puppet. You start being a player. 3. Carl Jung's most powerful insight was this: whatever you repress controls you. The self-aware mind doesn't pretend to be pure. It doesn't deny its anger, envy, pride, or fear. It studies them, owns them, integrates them. This is not about being nice. It's about being whole. Because the most dangerous person is not the one who hides their darkness. It's the one who has mastered it. So they don't explode. They don't collapse. They choose when to act and when to walk away. Shadow integration. For emotional self-validation, the fourth weapon is emotional self-validation. Weak minds outsource their feelings. They ask others to confirm their worth. Their peace depends on praise. The self-aware mind doesn't need applause. It doesn't beg to be understood. It says, I see myself. I hear myself. That's enough. When you validate your own experience, you stop being a slave to external approval. You stop chasing people who never cared to understand you. You stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. This is how emotional independence begins. 5. The power of absence. The fifth weapon is absence. Most people over-explain, overshare, overstay, but the self-aware person understands this. Sometimes your silence shakes them more than your words ever could. Sometimes your absence hits harder than your presence ever did. You don't need to argue, you don't need to win. You just need to leave, and let their own conscience destroy the illusion they built. Because when your absence speaks, it becomes undeniable. That's not ego, that's self-respect. 6. Existential focus. Weapon 6 is existential focus. The self-aware mind doesn't drown in trivialities. It doesn't react to every insult. It doesn't respond to every invitation to argue. It lives with a question that clears away all noise. Does this matter in the face of death? That question kills 90% of anxiety. It ends emotional games. It redirects your attention to what is real. Time, purpose, growth, peace. When you live with existential focus, you don't need to win arguments. You're too busy building a life with meaning. 7. Relational boundaries. The seventh weapon is relational boundary enforcement. Self-aware people don't allow chaos to rent space in their mind. They don't let emotional beggars set their schedule. They don't explain basic self-respect. If someone disrespects you once, you correct it. If they do it again, you distance. If they keep doing it, you disappear, not to punish, but to protect. Because peace is not something you request. It's something you enforce. 8. Anti-addiction to certainty. The eighth weapon is freedom from the addiction to certainty. Weak minds crave absolute answers. They fear doubt, complexity, nuance. The self-aware mind embraces mystery. It doesn't need to control everything. It doesn't collapse in the face of uncertainty because it knows this. Only fragile egos need to always be right. Real strength allows space for ambiguity. That's why the self-aware are calm in chaos. They've made peace with not knowing. 9. Mastery over the need to be liked. The ninth weapon is mastery over likability. The self-aware mind understands this bitter truth. The need to be liked is the leash that breaks men. If you need to be liked, you can be manipulated. If you need approval, you will be silenced. If you fear rejection, you will never speak your truth. But when you can walk into a room full of people and not need a single one of them to validate your existence, you become untouchable. You're not rude, you're free. 10. Inner authority, the final weapon, is inner authority. The self-aware mind is led by conscience, not consensus. It doesn't take votes on what's right. It doesn't outsource decisions to trends. It doesn't bend to cultural moods. It has its own compass. It asks, what do I believe? What do I stand for? Even when no one's watching, can I live with the man I am becoming? That's not ego. That's identity. It's the one thing that can't be stolen, corrupted, or destroyed if you protect it. Final message. These 10 psychological weapons are not about being emotionless. They're about being unconquerable. Not perfect, but sovereign. Not heartless, but conscious. Because you live in a world that profits from your confusion. It benefits when you're unsure, dependent, and easily manipulated. But the self-aware mind is a rebellion. A quiet revolution in a noisy world. If this breakdown revealed something in you, protect it. Like this video. Subscribe. And most of all, live like your soul cannot be owned, because it can't.